Sup, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Two British Nerds. Hope everyone is doing well this weekend. I know I am. I'm finally getting over my so-called flu or cold, so I'm starting to feel much better. So yeah, man. Like I said, hope everyone is doing cool in that. So let's get started, man. First of all, for all you Funko Pop vinyl head collectors, you can now pre-order the new Daredevil pop vinyl. So, I mean, recently, or a while ago, they released the Daredevil in the red suit. That was the first one they did. Then they released the Daredevil Funko, which was Daredevil's first suit, which was yellow and red. Pretty cool. So I managed to get both of them. They now are. You can now get on pre-order the Daredevil pop vinyls, but it's the ones from the Daredevil series, so they look pretty cool, man. And I've just saw them on pre-order literally today, so I'll be pre-ordering mine on payday, which will be next for me next week on the 30th. I believe they should be out next year, from January to they should be out within January to March. But you also have certain sites that will get them, I guess, early as usual, and they probably charge you a bit more. But the ones they are doing from the series will be Matt Murdock in his glasses and his cane and his suit. You also get the Kingpin, Wilson Fisk. Looks pretty cool, and you actually get the Daredevil in the red suit, the burgundy suit like you see in the show, and then you get the Daredevil, in the black suit. It looks pretty cool, and I know literally like all of them, the one in the black will sell out quickly. It'll be like number one that will get sold. So yeah, they're available to pre-order. I reckon soon they're gonna do the unmasked Daredevil as well, and probably do the black one, I reckon. And that would be crazy. I really hope they do Froggy as well, because Froggy hasn't been done, and Claire. So yeah, but I'll be getting all of them. I was actually gonna spend money on the Sherlock pops, because I do love the show. But when I heard, I thought, you know what, put Sherlock to one side and get my Daredevil. I also need to get Director Coulson of Lola, so I'll be getting that. I'll be buying that next week as well, so I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to that. So if you guys are into the show and you collect pop vinyls, I reckon these ones will be limited, because it'll be the first batch to be done. But the Daredevil in the black suit, will go pretty quick. So yeah, next up we got, for you Star Wars fans, officially Star Wars has made in ticket sales so far, about 50 mil on pre-sales. So that, whoa. So yeah, we're literally coming to to the deadline for Star Wars. You might as well say from next week on the 30th, or from the 1st of December, it will be the countdown to Star Wars. The Force Awakens. So I'm pretty looking forward to watching Star Wars. I'm not that much of a Star Wars fan, but I just love the mythology behind Star Wars, so I guess I am a fan in that sense. I'm not going to the IMAX because, one, it's going to be too packed up and stuff, and I just want to chill out, put my feet up and relax. So I'm just going to go to one of my local cinemas around the corner, which is like about 25 minutes, get my popcorn and nachos with a cheese dip, and I'm good to go, man. So I can't wait to see that. So yeah, Star Wars, The Force Awakens, December the 18th. For you Star Wars fans, man, make sure you the cinemas, and make sure you have fun. And may the Force be with you. Yes. We also have some first images of Wonder Woman's. Wonder Woman obviously has her own movie coming up. They released an image today, which is pretty cool. They showed Wonder Woman with like a like a cloak over her head. She's all covered up. What was really interesting was if you look at the background of the picture, you get to see Big Ben, which is obviously the big clock in London where I am. So I was like, interesting. So it made me think because they did say there was rumors coming out a few months back stating that the movie will be in different time periods. So I was like, okay, so in that sense, then it looks like one of the time periods will probably be what will be, our time period. So I guess that kind of makes a bit more sense with the rumors that were coming about a few months ago. So literally, that was pretty cool to kind of put together. So yeah, I think out of the DC movies I'm looking forward to probably would be I would say Wonder Woman. I guess I don't know. I like her character. I like the mythology and the story behind it. So I think that's one of the movies I'll be looking forward to. But I think next year, I think apart from Civil War and Doctor Strange, Batman, Superman, and Suicide Squad, Deadpool is going to be for me the one because Deadpool's a crazy character. So I'm pretty looking forward to actually seeing these shows, seeing the movie. So yeah. Alright guys, so that's a bit of news. That's pretty much the only news I literally really have. I'm going to go into just a quick reviews of some TV shows. So the first one is going to be Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was a pretty cool episode just because we're getting more and more deeper into what's really happening, and in the show, I guess, this episode was pretty cool, just to the fact that we actually have basically a twist in Hydra's origin. When we all know that the Red Skull was the founder of Hydra and so forth, but they've actually taken it one step further and said it's to do with an Inhuman that was purposely sent off the planet because it was too destructive, and through the time periods Hydra has tried to basically get this Inhuman back so they can serve him, but they've totally failed. So the breakdown to the origin of the story I would even say they rewritten their history. I would say they pretty much went further back into time, I guess. So in a sense, it's like a rewritten of history. I mean, it's like rewriting, I guess. I don't know, the Hydra history, but then it's not, because it's sort of just adding the time, adding more of history adding more history to it, because they do say the Red Skull and whatnot in the episode, but they just go further to show you literally what really happened before the Red Skull. But I liked the episode. That was one of the main things I liked. They actually went back, dealing with the Hydra origins and saying what Hydra is really about, and what their plans were, what their plans really are, and what they're looking to do next. The next bit of the show, which is really cool, is finally Fitzsimmons, after like three seasons, but might as well say like 3 years, finally kissed. And I was like, yes. It was very emotional, very tense, just due to the fact that obviously Gemma's come back from the other world, where she met up with that guy Will, and within those 4 months, they got intimate with each other, and she fell in love with him. When she came back, she told Fitz, and even though he wasn't happy, he just wanted to help her, but he still basically couldn't. He didn't know what to say, because he's like, I've lost her to this guy, and there's nothing I can do. So it's mad, because before he kisses her, he asks her, he goes, "Are you in love with him?" And she goes, "I don't know." Then she was like, "Yes." And he was like, yeah, why not? He's great, he's smart, he's strong, he's this and that, he's this. But then she goes, yeah, but you, when you travel the universe or whatever. She's like something she said something to him within the lines of, but you travel the universe, try and find me. Then he looked at her, he just went into her, he just kissed her. Then they kissed, and then and then he just said, we're cursed, which he does explain to her, because he says, so we've been together all these years and nothing's happened, and then when we do find out, you go to you you travel to basically the part of the universe, or and she was like, well, you waited till right at the end to tell me when we were underwater. He was like, yeah, exactly, like, we're cursed. So it was a pretty emotional, tense scene. I would say out of all the episodes, I think out of all the main episodes that were very intense and emotional, I think it's always been Fitz and Simmons that are basically the ones that have had a very, very rough ride and a very intense, emotional ride or scenes. It's very, very emotional for them. You have when they were underground, when Ward dumped them under in that box, under the water. And then you have the scene, obviously, when Gemma left and Fitz was totally messed up because he had brain damage and so forth. Then Gemma basically got sucked into that pool, which messed up Fitz. And then when they were gonna, he was trying to find her, and he'd find her. He grabbed her arm. That was like an intense bit. It was like, God, how's he got her? So, and then this moment where they kissed. So it's been a very, very rough ride for them. But I would say what I like about the show is, with the characters and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they really, really have really they've really taken a different aspect on Fitz and Simmons. When they first started off, they were young. They were like not children. They were very young, just working. But now it's like they become more mature. Their characters are very, very developed. Fitz, he's become more serious than ever, and so is Gemma. So it's nice to see what they've done with these two characters. It's pretty cool. I liked the episode as well because you got to see, Dr. Garner, who's May's ex-husband, to find out he's actually still alive and he's been taken by Hydra as well. So what it is, the main gist of the Hydra is they want to basically, the ATC were gathering Inhumans to turn them into soldiers to work for them. So when this Inhuman gets back from the other portal and he comes back to Earth, you'll have a team of Inhumans to lead and they'll take over the world. And that's basically the end of it. So now S.H.I.E.L.D. basically have to, Coulson and his side basically have to try and stop that while dealing with their own issues, So it's been a pretty cool show, a pretty cool episode, and the season's been very, very, it's been very mellow, but it's been very explosive in its own way. This is what I like about this season compared to last season. This season looks like there was no building up to anything. They're going straight into it. We're only in 8 episodes, and it looks like things are hitting the peak. So I believe next week, yes, and I think next week or the week after, it's going to be the mid-season break. So be prepared for an explosive mid-season finale, because they interviewed Brett Dalton, who plays Agent Ward, and he said there's going to be a lot of twists in this mid-season finale. So yeah, one thing that's bugging me is just like, what are they going to do with Ward? Because they can't keep him and Hydra. Because the guy that's with him now is his name, Power Booth. I can't remember his name now in the show. But he actually was one of the council members that Nick Fury was speaking to in the first Avengers movie. he sees Hydra guy. He's got his Hydra. He's got the roots of Hydra. So he sees Hydra guy in one way. Ward sees him guy in this way, but he goes to Ward. I'll help you take care of Coulson and Shield as long as you help me basically find out how they managed to bring somebody back. Which makes me think that the next episode basically is going to be about them somehow kidnapping Fitz and Simmons. This is what I think. They're going to try to kidnap them and use them to open up the portal for themselves. But yeah, like, he doesn't trust Ward and Ward doesn't trust him, but they're still working together. So I'm assuming he's gonna try and take care of Ward. So it's like, with me, my personal thoughts is, they won't kill Ward off, and the Hydra thing looks like this season is gonna come to a grand finale where it's all gonna end. So what are they going to do with Ward? Is he going to get redeemed and come back to S.H.I.E.L.D.? Is he going to work for them somehow? Is he going to take off, get his own solo TV show? What will happen to him? What will happen to Ward? So, I like him, man. I do like him, even though he's the character you love to hate. He's a very, very cool character, regardless of what side he's on. He's an amazing character. And the way he's been developed, it's pretty cool. Yeah. That's pretty much for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The next show will be the show that just came out yesterday. And, this show has been... People waiting for the show for a long time. And this is Marvel's Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones. If you want to know more about Jessica Jones, origin story and so forth, check out Alias Investigations. I believe Volume 1 to 3 is out. I think Volume 1 and 2 is out. 3 might be available. If not, it'll be on pre-order with Volume 4. Or you can just actually, right now, if you want to, you can get the whole omnibus, 720 pages. You can buy that on Amazon right now. It's written by Brian Michael Bendis, who's currently writing Iron Man for Marvel and a few more bits. But yeah, it came out yesterday. I watched episode 1 today, and just before I started doing this podcast, I was on halfway through episode 5. I never actually got into Jessica Jones. I didn't really read the comics. I knew about her, but I was, just didn't really go into it. So I did a bit of search and I looked her up and so forth. And plus, when watching episode 1, I will say, man, for episode 1 on 5, it's very, very different to to Daredevil, because it's, in a sense, it's more it has more drama. It has a very, very more darker tone. And it's good, man. It's very, very good. It's decent. I mean, I like it. I really do like it. I'm not going to say it's fantastic. It's amazing because, compared to Daredevil, because it has a completely different tone to Daredevil. But the tone that it sets now, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing because it's dark, it has drama, it has action. It's written very well. And I do actually you get the feel of this character and what she's going through. So it's like, for me, watching from episode 1 to 5, you're actually seeing someone like Jessica Jones dealing with more of her own internal issues and trying to move forward with her life, but she can't because she has this person I'm not going to basically speak about because I don't want to ruin it for everyone, but the villain that's been haunting her, and he comes back, and when he comes back, he really messes her up emotionally and mentally, and she tries to basically deal with that while dealing with her own issues. And also, because it's not a spoiler, but you find out she's actually a private investigator. So she's got this guy she's trying to deal with, that's messing her up, her own internal issues, and then she has to solve cases at the same time. But it's pretty cool. It's very dark. It's nothing like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., nothing like Daredevil. It's really, really good. And I can see, when I'm watching it, I'm like, yeah, this is. I was like, whoa! Like, when I was watching the episode 1, I saw the ending. I I was like, whoa, man, this is serious. Like, really, 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 really serious. It's like the way it ended. I was like, whoa, like I never knew it was that dark as a show, compared to like I thought Daredevil was dark and it had darky bits, but I guess with Jessica Jones, it's the drama, the intensity, the dark cloud, the very very just you really actually tend to feel more for this character than anything else, compared to like Daredevil. It was slightly different. With Jessica Jones, it's very very, for me when watching it, it's very very emotional in the way it's written, the way it's acted out. But it's pretty cool. I can't knock Marvel for doing the show, doing this. Doing the show. It's pretty cool. It's nice to actually see also, to see Luke Cage in there as well, which is pretty cool, and he's getting his own show as well. So it's pretty nice to see like you have them cameoing, in Jessica Jones, and then he gets his own show. I'm pretty looking forward to also seeing, like I said, his show as well. Luke Cage, Heroes for Hire. No, sorry, it's just called, my bad, it's only called Luke Cage. So Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and then of course the one that everyone was, the one that everybody is waiting for will literally be the Defenders, where you have the team up. So you have Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Luke Cage, and you have Iron Fist. So we're looking forward to that. It's not the original Defenders that we had. I believe the original Defenders was a very, very powerful team where you had Namor. What's pronounced his name wrong? Namor or Nama? Namor. I'm gonna call him Namor. Namor, Doctor Strange, the Hulk, and you had Silver Surfer. So that was a very, very that was a very, very powerful powerhouse team. But it's nice to see these Defenders are coming back, because when you read the Defenders comics, you find out there was actually the main Defenders, and you had the new Defenders, and you had the secret Defenders. So I guess Marvel can play around with that. So it's pretty cool. The next show that I actually just watched yesterday, which is pretty cool, and I recommend it to everyone, especially that's into martial arts. It's Into the Badlands. I just downloaded it. I did. I downloaded it. It was pretty cool. It was very, very cool. It was nice. It involves martial arts. It has blood. It has drama. If you're into Game of Thrones, then if you're into Game of Thrones, then you'd actually would like this show, from what I can see. I enjoyed it. It was pretty cool. It's about a guy and a kid trying to, I guess, from what I can see, trying to find their way home. But when I was watching the show, because when I saw the trailer, I was seeing like a lot of martial arts and killings and stuff. But when I watched the show, I was like, whoa, because it had storyline, drama, and it had action. When action kicked in, I was like, whoa! But it's very, very bloody. So if you've seen like the scenes for like Game of Thrones, where they're very bloody and so forth, then you'd pretty much like this show as well. But it's pretty cool. It airs every Sundays. I can't remember the channel it's on now. But it was amazing. I really loved it. I was like, whoa, yes, it's definitely a show I'm going to be watching. So, Into the Badlands, people. Check it out, man. Check it out. I do recommend this. I do recommend it. It's a pretty cool show. That's pretty much, I would say, pretty much it for, I would say, for this mixed news and my reviews. I'm gonna, just before we end today's show, it's gonna be a pretty short show, just gonna basically review a few number ones that I picked up. Seriously. collecting comics sometimes. Actually, before I go into that, I had to cut back on my comics. I was spending too much money. Too much. I cut back on at least 6 comics. I'll cut back on what was it? 4 Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, Guardians of the Galaxy 4. I totally forgot the other 2, but I had to cut back, spending too much money in comics. And what it was, even though I'm a Marvel fan, I just can't take these renumberings of number ones. So I was like, I'm not doing this again. So I'm collecting. I mean, don't get me wrong, the number ones that I have collecting currently, which Marvel I have renumbered, is ones that I really like. And so for me, the way Spider-Man is right now, Peter Parker, going into Park Industries and so forth, it's not for me, I guess, what Spider-Man is about in a way. So in a way, I'm looking to just, how can I say, this is not for me, I guess. I'm a Spider-Man fan, but the way it's going on, no. I'll probably give Ultimate Spider-Man a go and see what's happening. But apart from that, it's not really anything wow happening Spider-Man, apart from they brought some of the villains back from like the 60s and 70s. The Zodiac, which are a pretty old team. But yeah. So yeah, first up is Huck by Frank Miller. And this is under Image Comics. It's very different. I would say there was an article I actually need to find out, and it's Mark Miller speaking about this, and he says basically this is like a different take on the Superman story in a way, I guess. Basically, it's just about the main synopsis of the story of this comic book is this hero named Huck, and he lives in a small town, and what he does is he does good deeds for people every day, and because he does that, people basically keep a secret, and from that is basically when the comic kicks off. I really was intrigued about this book because when I kind of got the catch of what it was about, I was like, yeah, something for me. It's very, very toned down, very mellow. There's more story and action, which is pretty cool. The origin story of this character is shown probably like in one panel, so it's very short. But then again, you basically you'll get I guess more of who he is and where he's from and so forth in further along down the issues. But what can I say? It's for me, from reading it, it's basically a different take on the Superman story, and it's actually much, much better because this character, I guess, has more of a personality than Superman. I mean, don't get me wrong. See, for me, it's just for me, right? I find Superman as a boring character, but I don't find Clark Kent boring, if you know what I mean. Like, their personalities are different. And people saying, well, they're the same person. Yes, they are, but when he's not Superman and he's just Clark Kent chilling, he's got more of a personality. He's funny, he cracks jokes, he's more witty. It's pretty cool, but when he's Superman, it's like, it's just boring. Like, I just find him quite boring as a character. So with Huck, it's like he seems very, it's like, with Huck, there isn't a suit or anything. He's himself. So when he does his thing, for example, save people or does deeds for people, it's the same guy, the same personality. You tend to actually warm up to this character because he seems very, very warm, kind, loving, and just very, very something about his character. It's just he's like very babyish in a way. That's something about him that makes you want to just say, this guy's kind of cool. It's nice, man, nice guy. But it's very good. It's well written. The artwork is nice. But the storyline really got me going. It's really got me hooked by the last issue. Sorry, by the last page of the first issue. and it'll be a book that I tend to collect for a while, I guess, until it goes downhill, which it won't. But I'm very selective on the comics I collect now. I'm not going to buy them just for the fact that, for example, I'm a Spider-Man fan and so forth. I'm going to collect all the issues. That's what I used to do some before, and I was like, some of what was happening in the books wasn't really what I was liking. So in that way, I've decided basically to just, cut back and stick to what I really love. So, no Marvel. At the end of this year, there'll be another reboot where they'll renumber. So probably everything will change all over again. But Huck is, if you're a fan of Superman, I guess this book will be for you because it's a different take on a Superman story with a different tone. It's pretty cool. I like the first first few pages where it's just less writing and just more artwork, which is pretty nice. It's a pretty cool book. Thing with Image Comics, like I've always said in the podcast, they're very addictive. So you won't really know what the book is about until you actually read it, because what I mean by that, let me rephrase that, because Image Comics, like I've always said, are self-created. You can pick up any number one and you might be just hooked on it because it's just intriguing, it's different, because it's not something from DC or Marvel and so forth. It's someone actually created themselves. So the storylines are different, the art was different. There's swearing, there's sex, there's drugs in some aspects. There's sometimes no bar in the Image Comics, but it's pretty cool. And this is what I love about Image Comics. I think it's just so cool because they're self-created. With Mark Miller, but he's a very, very amazing writer. So I got it because I was like, wow, it's Mark Miller, definitely getting this book. So ladies and gentlemen, that is Huck issue 1, which is still available to buy right now from any comic book stores, or what do you call it? Forbidden Planet, which is where I always go. The next book is Miss Marvel #1. As we know, this is one of Marvel's first issues after the Secret Wars event, which is still going on, by the way. So I believe, Secret Wars is on issue, I believe the next issue will be issue 8. If I'm right, there's 2 issues left, so it'll be issue 8 and 9. So this is after Secret Wars as usual. So we basically in the last issue, before the reboot, what happened was Camilla was with Bruno, and obviously Bruno, someone that she kind of likes, but she didn't really tell him. He told her he loves her and so forth, and she was like, so we can't, because of my parents and so forth. So it kind of just ended there, really. And we basically moved from there. And obviously that's when the Secret Wars thing happened. So 8 months later, I guess, you basically find out she's joined the Avengers team. And it's not a spoiler, because if you've read Avengers, if you've read basically Avengers 1, you find that she's actually part of the team. So in the first was pretty cool. In the first page of this, you actually see her battling with the Avengers. So you see Miss Marvel, the Vision, Iron Man, Sam Wilson, who is the new Captain America, Jane, who's Thor, Miles Morales, Storm, Miles Morales, Ultimate Spider-Man, and is it Mark? I forgot his name now. Mark, I guess Sam or Mark. Can't remember the name now. Who's actually Nova? But again, usual. She's Miss Marvel. She's Miss Marvel in a way. She's always dealing with, I guess, from the first issue, when the comic book first came out, to this issue. She deals more of her own internal businesses, so her own internal self than anything else. So in this one, she has a very, very personal issue that she can't really seem that she can't deal with, which drives her crazy. While she's actually trying to save, she's actually trying to save her town in the process. And as usual, it gets a bit overwhelming for her when she's trying to deal with her personal life while trying to save the city. And again, it gets kind of too much for her. But as usual, she pulls things up. She tries. She always comes on top of the situation to a certain extent before she starts hating herself. She's like, "What am I doing? This? What's happening? It's all my fault. Why is this happening?" and so forth. But pretty much that's pretty much what this issue was actually about. It was actually her dealing with her own internal affairs and anything else. Why actually trying to help out the town and stop certain crimes that have been kicking off. So it was pretty cool as usual. The artwork is on point, and storyline is still on point. Still love this book, and I guess I wouldn't the one like I said. Marvel have renumbered, but because I still enjoy collecting this book, and I still enjoy the storyline. I'm still collecting this book regardless of the renumbering. So technically this will be like volume 2, I guess, of Miss Marvel. In a way. But the artwork is on point, I love it. Storyline is still cool. I love her character, Camilla Khan, Miss Marvel, who's actually, keep forgetting she's actually a Inhuman. So she's not technically the Miss Marvel, she's actually a Inhuman. And from the last issue, we actually found out her mum found out that she's Miss Marvel, and she was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I know." And then Bruno, actually, she knows as well. So it's pretty cool. I like how they thrown the Avengers bit in there in the first page, just to remind you she's actually part of the Avengers. And again, I like the Avengers book, and I'm collecting it because it's just, for me, it's a diverse team. You have black characters, you have a Muslim character, you have a child, you have a kid, you have a female four. So it's a very, very diverse, and again, I give props to Marvel for doing this again, because regarding the Secret Wars, now if you pick up any of the new Marvel #1s, you actually see black characters, female characters, different races and ethnics in the comic books. Like I said, you have the new Hulk is Korean, the new Captain America, Sam Wilson, is black. The new Miss Marvel, who's Inhuman, Camilla Khan is Asian, she's Muslim. You also have the Black Panther coming up comic, which is written by the creative of Black. Again, you also have Iron Fist and Power Man, which is Luke Cage, coming up in a team-up book, and that basically is the creative team on that book is black. So it's nice to see we're getting more of a creative team, more creativity and more people of colour back into the comic scene, writers and characters. And this is very, very positive and cool, because now we actually move into stuff like Comic-Cons and events. You see more people of colour come into the events, and again, it'll cause more diversity, more of a buzz. And obviously for the companies, for example, Marvel, had to make money. It generates more money from these people of colour, because they see themselves now in the comic books. So that's pretty cool to see that happening in the comic scene. But again, if you're I really recommend Miss Marvel to anyone, because it's a very very whoa. It's a very very I just realized that this book cost only $5 for #1. Wow. I guess because of the first issue, hopefully the second issue will be back down to $3.99. But yeah, like I said, I recommend this Marvel to anyone, because it's a very, very fun, light-hearted book. It's like watching Supergirl, DC Supergirl. It's very light-hearted, very nice, very light, very cheesy in some aspects, but the storyline is very, very good, and I like where it's going. So again, I recommend this book, I guess, to anybody out there. Right. The next book, right, is actually, for me, I really am hooked on this book, and it's just on issue 1. This is only a 4-issue series, and this is called Batman Europa. And it's, for me, right, the reason I say I can't believe I'm hooked on this book, because with me, I'm not really a Batman fan. Like, I love the Dark Knight, the aspects of, like, for example, the way he is, his mind, how he can solve crimes. That's amazing. I love it. But I've never actually maintained reading a Batman comic, from collecting, for example, issue 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so forth. Like, I tried to jump on Scott Snyder's run, and I believe from issue like 13, I already read about a few issues, and I just dropped it because I got bored of the book. So, but I like, from reading this, I was like, yes, I don't know, I just got hooked straight away. So, Batman. This is Batman Europa. It's written by, I always can't pronounce his name, Azzarello, and he's actually the guy that was writing Wonder Woman before he jumped ship. Before he actually stopped. Writing it. So let me see if I can find out the creative team on this book. Here we go. So, story by Matteo Casali and Brian Azzarello. So you have the pencils and finishes by Jim Lee. So this is why I really love this book, because it had Jim Lee's artwork. It's pretty amazing, man. Pretty amazing. Like, his artwork is so on point. It's pretty cool. It's the artwork's pretty cool. The artwork is for me, it's amazing, and the storyline is just so cool. So basically, what happens is Batman gets infected literally by gets infected by a certain virus, and he basically, he's running out of time, because he will die soon, I guess, if he doesn't find out what's happening to him and how he can actually fix it. So he travels around the world, I guess, to try and sort things out. And he actually, what's pretty cool about this book is he ends up teaming up with a certain someone that you'd never think he would team up with, and that's when the story kicks off. But for me, the way Batman is written in this book is something that I can resonate to, and I can be like, cool. I love it. I love the way he's been written. I love the pace of the story, the intensity, how it goes from up, down, how you have the certain twist at the end of the book. Or actually, if you actually realize what the book is about, and you understand the first two pages that you open up. Because when I opened it up, I was like, huh? Okay. So this is what's going on. But when I actually read the book at the end, I was thinking, so this is what's really happening. So it kind of makes you reevaluate things and go back from start to finish and look at basically the book and the pages all over again. Storyline's very nice. It's not dark. It's mid-tone, but then there's a bit of comedy in there, which is pretty funny. But you do see a bit of dark bits now and again. But I like this take on Batman, because I like it. It's for me. I loved it, man. I love it, and I'll definitely be getting issue to find out how the story basically unrolls. Like I said, if you are a Batman fan, this book will be for you. It'll be a different take, I guess, on Batman that you've read before. If you're new to Batman, you want to give this a shot, I do recommend it, because it's just from reading this book, you can just go into it straight away, even if you're not a Batman fan, if you've never read a Batman book in your life, it's very, very easy to go into. 99% of the people on the planet know Batman's origin story, parents got killed and so forth, blah, 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 he became Batman. So you don't really need a backstory for this book. It's fresh. It's pretty cool, obviously, to see Batman get out of Gotham, because he's always in Gotham. So that's something that's you don't really get to see. So it's nice to basically, it's nice to see that in this book. And I was like, yeah, Batman Europa. Yes, so I'm in Europe, so I was like, yeah, I definitely resonate with this book. I totally enjoyed this book, and I really, really can't wait, for issue 2. I'm flicking through it now. I find it literally hilarious. I find it hilarious, like some of the pages and some basically some of the pages I get on catchphrases. This is funny. It's very, very funny. So yeah, I really can't wait to see what's happening within this book. So within the next issue of this book. You gotta love Batman, I guess. I do like Batman. I actually like the Batman detective books because it's more solving crime than anything else. It's pretty cool. So from DC, I'm a big Marvel fan. From DC's always been Batman to a certain extent because he's interesting as a character for me. So Batman, Constantine, Swamp Thing, Animal Man, Harley Quinn, pretty cool characters in my opinion because I find them interesting. I can resonate with them more. I'll say it again because I've always said this before. I would love to see a team up between Harley Quinn and Deadpool. Be amazing. But for me, guys, that's pretty much it for me in today's podcast. We'll be bringing you more news and so forth next week. It's been very, very quiet the last few weeks actually regarding news in the comic scene. I guess everything's getting wrapped up, for example, regarding movies and so forth because they've been done. So no news is really, really coming out, I guess. But saying that, from next, obviously you're gonna hear a lot of news from from the 18th when Star Wars kicks off. Finally gonna find out what has happened to Luke Skywalker. He's not in the trailer. Well, he is to some extent. He's missing, I guess, somewhere. He's not in the posters. So where is he? What's happened to him? What has happened to Mr. Luke Skywalker in the movie? So that's all gonna come out and unblock the scenes from the 18th of December, and I'll be there watching it. Totally can't wait. Star Wars. The Force Awakens. So yeah, that's pretty much for me, guys. Keep it cool, keep it blessed. Again, if you're on Instagram, please follow me. 2 British Nerds. My Twitter is @CAVADJ. YouTube again. 2 British Nerds. 2 British Nerds with a Z. And so anytime you search up 2 British Nerds, please type in the Z at the end and we'll come up. Also, if you're on the iTunes, go onto the iTunes podcasting app, or just go on your iTunes. If you're at home, type in 2 British Nerds, subscribe to us, and you can listen to me literally every week on a weekly basis. If you want basically to be on, if you want to be a guest on the show, if you have any questions you want me to answer, and so forth, please hit us up. Hit me up, sorry. Hit us up, same thing, I guess. Hit us up on the 2 British Nerds of the 2 British Nerds at gmail.com. And again, the video podcasts will be coming pretty soon. So I'm looking forward to that. You're going to see me chilling in my bedroom. and just talking to you guys. So yeah, peace out. It's DJ Sava, Two British Nerds. As usual, just let us know what you think of this podcast. Hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. So again, Two British Nerds. I get back to all the comments because I'm just like that. You know, I love to socialise and get bit of feedback and so forth. So please hit me up and I'll definitely get back to you. With that being said, peace, love and light. Have a blissful weekend and keep it safe, guys. Peace. Bye.